What's up, bitch? I'm back. I'm gonna take a half a shot because I feel like I've sobered up a little bit. We don't want that. We don't want that shit in here. So I'm gonna take this shot. And then I'm gonna continue. It's probably gonna be like a 3 or 4 part. Oh yeah, let's do a summary of Les Mis. That's gonna be good. Hi. So, we left off at Valjean seeing Fantine. And like I said before, the only meaning in Fantine's life at this point is seeing Valjean. And she says in the book, again, I know I said I wouldn't go into the book, but like if you read the book versus the musical versus the movie, you're gonna get influences all over the place. So I'm gonna say this shit. In the book, she says, like, essentially, I'm only alive when the mayor is here. And prior to this, she really hated the mayor because she worked in his factory and she got fired there, and there's a whole, thing there. It was like, Monsieur, don't mock me now, I pray. It's hard enough I've lost my pride. You let your foreman send me away. Yes, you were there. And turned aside. And she, spits at him and shit. Anyways, but then Valjean saves her. Under the guise of Madeline. So she only really lives when the mayor is there. And again, very sweet, very romantic in a lot of ways. It's very sweet. It's just so good. So good. I know, Hugo's whole thing is, tragedies and shit, so I get it. I understand. Makes sense why he would do it this way. Anyways, so he goes, Valjean, after, confessing that he is Valjean, goes and see Fantine. And Fantine's whole thing is still forever and always her daughter and keeping her child safe. And so she essentially, on her deathbed, she's literally fading. She essentially just wants her child to be safe. And it's such a, Fantine is such an inspiring character because of those reasons. She's just, everything she does is to keep her child safe. She's been so slighted by love. And then she finds this, affection in this child that was produced by a betrayal. And it's so inspiring. God, I love Fantine. Anyways, she essentially says to Valjean, as Monsieur Madeline, just take care of my child. And, make sure she's safe. That's all I care about. My dying wish is that my daughter is safe. And Valjean's so moved by this. So, he's been so lonely for so long that, his only friend really is Fantine. Again, interpretations and stuff. I see it as romantic, but you can see it as, platonic, too. He sees this, and he's just I will do this for you. Because I know how much you love your daughter, and I care about you, and I care about, what you want in your deathbed. I will take care of your child. Your child will want for nothing. And Fantine dies knowing that her child's gonna be safe. And it's such a tragic but good conclusion to that character's, plot points. So she dies in the presence of Valjean, and Valjean's stricken by this, obviously. The one person he connects to after years of solitude dies in his presence. And he mourns for the moment. The moment is cut short by our favorite policeman. And Javert is there, and he realized, holy shit, my suspicions were right. They were telling me I was wrong. They were saying this shit. But I was fucking right. I was right. So he walks in. the confrontation is so intense to me. Like, the movie version's a little bit tacky because, you know, movies tend to make things a little tacky, but, like, the fucking play version is so fucking good. He's there and he's just like, Valjean, at last we see each other plain. Monsieur la Maire, you'll wear a different chain. And he's just like, so like, almost smug in his like, I fucking knew it. You fucking bitch. You thought you could pull one on me? I don't fucking think so. So, Valjean, knowing he's caught, is just like, before you say another word, Javert, before you chain me up like a slave again, listen to me, there's something you must know. And then he goes on to be like, this woman left a child behind who needs my help. I need to protect her. And, like, Javert's just like, fuck you, dude. You've been eluding me for, like, how fucking long? You think I'm gonna just, like, let you go? No. And during this altercation in the movie, there's, like, a sword fight, kind of, where, like, Javert has a sword, but then, like, Valjean has this, like, plank of wood? I'm just like, okay. Like, in the moment, you're just like, holy shit. But then, like, you watch it again, and it's just like, this is so fucking stupid. Anyways, this is when Javert reveals that, like, I am from the gutter too. You know, I was born with scum like you. I am from the gutter too. Which, again, reveals his past of being born in a prison, living that kind of life of a criminal, and deciding to live above it. While he's, you know, like, monologuing this shit, Valjean escapes. And there's a long-ass time of them, like, chasing each other, and Valjean escaping and getting out of Montreal-sur-Mer, I think is what it's called, I don't fucking know. Anyways, he ends up leaving. And he goes to the town where Fantine left her daughter Cosette. At this point, Cosette, I want to say, is like 6 years old. And the song Castle on a Cloud is sung in the play. And it's so pretty. It's so good. You know, it's just like the longing of a little girl who's been abused. Because, like, even though they talk about, like, you know, they left letters to Fantine, like, oh, you know, your daughter's sick, she needs these things, she needs this. They were fucking lying to get more money out of Fantine. Because that's how the world works. It's fucking bullshit, but it's how it works. So they were basically like, you know, do this for us, we need this amount of money for your child, because she's sick. She was never sick. They just wanted more money out of her. And Cosette was essentially used as a slave in the household. Like, even the children didn't even recognize her as a human being. And there's a point in the movie and in the play where she's sweeping and she's just like, there is a castle on a cloud. I like to go there in my sleep. Aren't any floors for me to sweep? There is a cloud, and there's a whole other thing. But she's basically dreaming of living in a world where she doesn't have to do all this shit. So she's lived a life from her 6 years as a fucking slave to the people who are supposed to take care of her. And, Madame Thénardier, again, Thénardier, I don't fucking know, was basically like, you need to go get water from the well. And it's wintertime, so it's fucking cold. And so, like, poor little Cosette at, like, 6 or 7 years old is like, please don't let me go out there. Please don't make me go out there. It's cold. I'm scared. It's the dark. And then is just like, fuck you. Go do it anyways. We let you in here. We allowed you to be in here. We didn't have to do that. Fuck you. Go do it. And they force a child to go out there in the dark. Alone. And that's when the whole, like, master of the house thing plays, which I have issue with, in the sense of they, like, made the only people who you can legitimately, like, make antagonists in the story into comedic relief. Whatever. Anyways. And the whole Santa scene in the movie. Anyways. So, Cosette goes out. she's out in the woods, scared, cold, getting water and stuff. And she runs into the stranger, who essentially is like, do you know of this inn? And that's the inn she works at, where the Thénardiers are doing their business. And he's like, I'm looking for this girl, Cassette. And she's like, they call me Cassette. And the stranger's like, can I take your bucket for you? And he's very kind and gentle to her. And we find out that it's Valjean. He found the girl right off the bat, which is hilarious to me. Anyways, finds the girl. They go back to the inn. Valjean is essentially like, I'm going to take this girl from you. Name your price. I will pay off all her debts. Because as the mayor of Montreal-sur-Mer, he's fucking loaded. As the dude who owns the company that worked at the main part of Montreal, he's fucking loaded. He's got shit. So he ends up paying them off to take Cosette. And he takes Cosette. And it's this beautiful moment of, like, a father who never had a child, meaning the daughter who never had a family. And it's so beautiful. It's such a good moment. In the book, it's described as the first time Valjean truly experiences love. And it's beautiful. It's so good. Because for a long time, Valjean is like living because this is what he feels like he should be doing. Like, oh, this is what God intends of me. But now he's experiencing God's love through this little girl. And it's so good. And I'm like, I didn't realize this when I saw the live version that Suddenly was not a song in the original Broadway. It should have been. Because the version in the movie, there are a lot of problems with the movie, but that's not one of them. It's just like this portrayal of this daughter, this little girl who never knew a family, to a man who was obviously paternal. You don't go to jail for 20 years trying to feed your family if you're not paternal. Finally meeting his daughter. It's so good. It's so good. And there's a part where he's just like, I'm so afraid of failing you. And it just resonates how much he loves this little girl, just meeting her. Anyways, so they are going through, trying to get their way through, and they're being chased suddenly by Javert, who has not let go of the fact that this was Valjean. For a couple of reasons. I'm going to go on a different rant. Javert. His whole thing, as I've said before, about the law. His whole mind is, you do what the law says. You do what the law says, and that's how you become good. That's his whole thing. The law is good. Law equals good. Against the law equals bad. It's the only way he works. He's black and white as fuck. So, he finds a criminal. He's not going to let them go. He's chasing after Valjean. He's chasing after her. So there's a whole big thing about, chasing after Valjean and making sure he comes to, retribution and stuff. And there's a whole scene, the whole thing about them, Valjean, hiding them out and, basically, hiding them away. I need a pee, so I'm actually going to cut this one short. The next version will be a lot longer. Sorry.